This video will go through the general assembly process for the Nordic Track Studio Cycle family of exercise bikes. Because of continuing product improvements, your assembly steps may not be identical to those shown. Please refer to your user's manual and any assembly updates that came with your particular bike if you have any questions as to the assembly steps shown here. Attach the front stabilizer to the base with 4 M10 by 20 mm screws. Do not fully tighten the screws yet. Finish attaching the front stabilizer with 2 additional M10 by 20 mm screws, then fully tighten all 6 screws. Press the right leg cover downward and attach it to the base with an M4 by 10 mm machine screw. Attach the other leg cover in the same way. Attach the rear stabilizer to the base with 4 M10 by 20 mm screws. Do not fully tighten the screws yet. Finish attaching the rear stabilizer with 2 additional M10 by 20 mm screws, then fully tighten all 6 screws. Orient the handlebar post so that the lower slot is on the side shown. Note the sticker indicating which side of the tube is the front. Next, loosen the post knob and insert the handlebar post into the frame until the lower end of the handlebar post is below the frame. Then, tighten the post knob. Insert the end of the lower wire into the frame and handlebar post, and pull it out of the upper slot in the handlebar post. Insert the handlebar into the handlebar post. Attach the handlebar with 4 M8 by 12 mm screws. Start all the screws before tightening any of them. Avoid pinching wires during this part of the assembly. Slide the console support onto the handlebar. Attach the console support with an M10 by 52 mm bolt and an M10 jam nut. Make sure the jam nut is seated in the hexagonal hole. Do not tighten the bolt yet. Look under the console support and identify the upper wire, which has a larger connector than the extension wire. Connect the extension wire to the control wire extending from the handlebar. Then insert the connectors on both wires into the handlebar. Connect the upper wire to the lower wire, extending from the handlebar post. Then, insert the connectors on both wires into the handlebar post. If not previously installed, insert the handlebar post cap into the lower end of the handlebar post. Plug the upper wire and extension wire into the receptacles in the back of the console. Make sure to plug the wire marked with red into the receptacle marked with red, and plug the wire marked with yellow into the receptacle marked with yellow. Make sure these wires are held firmly in place. Failure to fully connect these wires could lead to the console not lighting or some of the functions and buttons not working on the bike. If the connectors do not see easily, press them more firmly into place. Do not twist the connectors. In this step, avoid pinching the wires, and if necessary, tilt the console bracket upward to make this step easier. Attach the console to the console bracket with 4 M4 by 12 mm machine screws. Start all 4 of the screws and then tighten them. Have a second person move the console to a level position. While the second person holds the console steady, firmly tighten the M10 by 52 mm bolt. Next, orient the hand weight tray so that the largest opening is facing forward. Be sure to avoid pinching the wires. Attach the hand weight tray to the console support with 4 M4 by 14 mm screws. Start all of the screws and then tighten them. Next, loosen the indicated saddle post knob. Then, insert the saddle post into the frame and slide the saddle post to the desired height. Then, tighten the post knob. Tip the saddle to one side and slide one of the rails as far as possible between the lower saddle clamp and the upper saddle clamp. If necessary, further loosen the M8 saddle screw. Tip the saddle downward and slide the other rail between the saddle clamps. Make sure both rails are in the grooves of the saddle clamps and that the saddle is adjusted for your desired riding position. Then, firmly tighten the saddle screw. Using an adjustable wrench, firmly tighten the right pedal clockwise into the right crank arm. Firmly tighten the left pedal counterclockwise into the left crank arm. You must turn the left pedal counterclockwise to attach it. Set the 2 hand weights in the weight tray. Make sure not to hit the console with the hand weights when you set the hand weights in the hand weight tray. After the studio cycle is assembled, inspect it to make sure it is assembled correctly and that it functions properly. Make sure that all parts are properly tightened before you use the studio cycle.